What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shooky from Shook Earth Media, and today we are talking again about The Walking Dead Last Mile. This is a new type of interactive live stream experience where it's a scripted show that allows the audience to make some decisions for characters in the world. So basically, how I thought of it based on the announcement is basically like a Telltale Games type of Walking Dead game, except instead of playing it yourself and making all the choices on your own, it is an aggregate of the audience's decisions, and the audience voting gets to pick how the series turns out. And here the headline is from this GameSpot article is The Walking Dead Last Mile lets fans change the franchise forever. Now, I feel like that's a bit hyperbolic, but I do think that the concept has a lot of potential, and I'm curious to see how it's going to be any different from the Telltale Games style presentation. How does it use this voting mechanic and these interactive elements to make a unique story? Now, before, we didn't get too many details about what the story is, and we get some here. We get some concept art for characters and such. So we're going to take a look at this article and see what we can learn about this game and move on from there. So, The Walking Dead Last Mile is not a game in the traditional sense. As we said before, it's part Facebook gaming event, part Facebook watch streaming series. It is a Facebook exclusive. I came away thinking that Last Mile is more than anything an intriguing social experiment that comfortably pairs ahead of its time technology with one of the most beloved comic series in the world. So I'm curious, ahead of its time technology, it sounds like it's going to be a bit more involved than just letting the audience vote on things. I think that if it's impressive technology, it can't be that simple because we already have that technology. I don't think that you could really call that ahead of its time technology. So I think there's something a little extra other than just the voting on choices. You won't need a controller, console, or PC, or even copy of the game, of course, because it's a massively interactive live event. That's what the MILE acronym stands for. That's why this game is called Last Mile. Miles have been on Facebook before, and I followed this link here, Rival Peak. This is the company that is making this game. This is a previous project of theirs. Now, it looks like some kind of reality show type of thing. But this is the technology that is kind of impressive because this is a full 3D environment, fully rendered from multiple perspectives, and you can switch the view at any time. So it's more than just a live stream. You don't have permission to view it. Okay, well, we got the idea. We took a look at... There's a couple different angles you can get. There's a bit more than just, oh, you can pick whatever you want the character to do. There were multiple points of view of the same scene, and you could switch between them and take a look at different angles. And there's even like it looks like an achievement thing. I don't know. I guess there is some more game elements than I was maybe thinking. And we get recaps of the dialogue. There's all kinds of different buttons here. So it sounds like there's a lot of potential here. Like I said, it's like a fully rendered environment. So it's more than just like a video. So that is definitely interesting. To interact, players simply need a browser that lets them access Facebook. There, they decide how involved they want to be in the season-long story, whether that means simply watching things unfold like it's an ant farm, participating in interactive elements like a morning routine, a new Wordle, perhaps? Is that the word game people are playing? Or even making it their new favorite dedicated series, like watching a Twitch streamer for hours a day. If players miss a period of Last Mile, they can keep up with the drama via a wrap-up show that will air regularly and give them something like a previously on segment. Okay, now I'm confused. Am I the only one who's confused? Okay, in season, a mile is like a 24/7 stream. Wow, it's 24/7 with major and minor moments unfolding at different hours of the day for months at a time, where AI assisted characters live out their days whether you're there to influence them or not. Wow, that is a little bit different than I was expecting. Okay, so it's a consistently live game, and I'm assuming that that technology we saw on that rival peak thing with the different characters you can take a look at. I'm curious to see. I honestly am would be a bit more interested if it was just like a 1 hour segment and then we tune into that every week. But just to have this constant thing running, like, I don't know how much time am I going to need to be able to experience the full story. How is there really an ongoing narrative if people need to be watching 24/7 to keep up? So, okay, so that's why there's a wrap-up show. That's why there's the recap thing that you can click on. That's interesting. Now, here we got some concept art here, and then here's the fully rendered space. It's decent graphics. I mean, it's not anything groundbreaking, but it's a bit more high fidelity than I was thinking. We'll see how the character designs looks, but this looks a bit more realistic than, the Telltale games, which went for more of a cartoonish look to it. And, honestly, I'd be cool with the cartoonish look. It worked for the Telltale games. Rival Peak has been developer GenVid Technologies' most successful mile to date, but Jacob Navik, CEO and co-founder of the company, told me that the team is using what it learned from that experience to make The Walking Dead Last Mile even better, so that all players can feel satisfied no matter their own level of interaction. Okay, see, I'm really curious to see how this plays out. Like, how many events are there a day? How quickly is the story progressing? Is it really months long? I mean, this sounds insane to me. If you choose to lean back and watch, it will progress. You do not need to do a thing. The reason you participate in the activities is because you want to have more agency over the outcome. Okay, so I'm thinking that it's not really going to be like a Telltale Games thing. I think I'm wrong. I'm curious. So there are different characters you can switch between, and they have a morning routine. They have a full AI-assisted storyline, and they go throughout their day. You can follow them at any given time, and I'm wondering what the choices you can make are. I wonder if they have any examples here. Though some interactive elements, such as the mechanics behind communal decision-making, are still being finalized. Okay, so they haven't really worked it out yet then. Sean Kittleson of Skybound gleefully stressed that Last Mile is being handled like a proper new entry in the Walking Dead comic universe, and all of the narrative prestige that comes with it. He also teased that though the undead are often slower and even frozen stiff in the Alaskan setting. Oh, okay, we're in Alaska. That's why we had the snowy art from before. Other new threats will be revealed for the first time in the franchise. What? Other new threats? Other than humans or zombies? What does that mean? I don't know. Does that mean illnesses? Does that mean natural disasters? Because I don't think we've had those in the TV show, though. I guess it depends what they mean by franchise. If it's some kind of new, like, undead creature or something, I don't know. That's a little concerning to me. If it's natural disasters, if it's dealing with, stuff like I was mentioning, that makes sense. Totally understand that. Illnesses, pandemics, or something like that. That all makes sense. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical. Its story arc, most excitingly, is not set in stone. Players will have a lot of influence in the way the story goes, writing new Walking Dead canon that can't be reloaded, rehashed, or rewritten to better suit the lives of its characters or the preferences of its players. Okay, so once a decision is made, that's it. That it's set in stone after that. As with anything in The Walking Dead, the stakes are life or death, and Facebook users will help collectively decide who lives and who dies. Of course, that's what we expected. Here we got some concept art. It's looking pretty cool. Project Cosmos. I guess is that the code name for it? Captain Barney. Okay, so think of it like Twitch plays The Walking Dead, except where all alternate narrative branches are instantly chopped off the moment a decision has been made. Those tangential universes simply cease to exist. Rather than compare endings, what happened to Kenny in your story? Players will act as a fractured community, trying to come together and help characters make it out alive, all while telling a singular story that will be cemented as canon and referenced in future Walking Dead media. Wow. Okay, so this is a very intriguing concept, and I think it could either be something completely unseen that takes the world by storm, or it could just be a complete flop. I mean, I feel like it can go either way at this point. Looks like we have some more pictures here, some concept art. Let's see what happens if I click this. Nothing. Okay, we got some, like, a little safe area. We got walls, we got tents, we got a lookout tower. That's pretty cool. We got a character named Wyatt, it looks like. We got Barney, the captain. We already saw this person. Who is this? Okay, this is Wyatt again. The view all thing is not working. That's okay. That element of it is meant to entice the Walking Dead fans. Of course, the canon element. But Last Mile's strongest suit has a broader appeal, putting a massive player community in a struggle for survival and asking them not to go at each other's throats over ideology. I don't know what ideology has to do with anything. I saw glimpses of several of the Last Mile's characters, the fates of whom are in the hands of potentially millions of players. That's some wishful thinking, but we'll see who will take part in its saga. These characters will be fully voiced and animated, awesome, and often come from different factions, cool. So players will come to know them, choose favorites, and perhaps even align themselves with certain individuals. The community aspect has a lot of potential as well, because they'll write it one way, but how the community interacts with it will change the story more than just like how they're saying, how we get to make decisions, decide who lives and dies and stuff like that. I think will affect the writing by what factions people are most attracted to, what characters people like the most, what kinds of characters people really don't like. I think all these things, maybe the community will be kind of fractured and people will be, I like this group better, well, I like this group better, and there's like a 50-50 thing going on. There's a lot of potential here for some interesting community interaction. Will the characters go to war, steal from each other? Yeah, like what if people in the community watching are on different sides of this war, and we want this war to happen because we both want to win, and we'll make it interesting. Work to yeah. Do you mean to tell me that people won't always work together amid a pandemic? I joked. Okay. The irony that such an experience will unfold on Facebook of all places is not lost on me. I suppose that's ironic because people on Facebook like to argue? Is that it? Though this isn't the sort of experience where players will freely control a character in first and third person, everyone will have their own character who accompanies them via an overlay. Now, are we picking from pre-made characters? Do we really each have our own avatar? I think that's too many characters. Or do we just pick from one out of several that we like? Engage with the Last Mile enough and you'll earn a sort of in-game currency that can be used to bid on different rewards, including a walk-on role in the cinematics of the series. So there's cinematics as well. So it's a full 24/7 live stream, and we can watch characters go throughout their full day, and also we have cinematics in there too. How do I know, is there like a prime time where we tune in and that's when the cinematics play, or the cinematics things that we can catch up on later? As a zombie genre nerd, the thought of my character appearing in the Walking Dead canon is admittedly tantalizing. Okay, so he's saying the thought of my character appearing, so each of us gets to create their own character. But what was even more fascinating to me was learning that one's player character can die. So we have a player character and we're influencing other characters. It's just hard to imagine right now how this is going to work. In the world of Walking Dead, we have the opposite of plot armor. Somebody hasn't caught up on the TV show. We have like plot magnets. It's likely that players will have to make new characters more than once over the course of the long season, like resetting a post-apocalyptic, I don't know that word. This player character doesn't seem to be more than a UI addition, but it may help heighten the drama for players wishing to survive the season with a single character. More importantly, it's a way to give each player their own face and voice for the drama. They're all voices as well. Even, I mean, how unique can these characters really be if we each have one and they each have a voice? Even as not everyone will be among the diehards who end up in the series itself. This line of thought opened up a whole new avenue of possibilities for me as a fan. What would I have done if someone like Negan or the governor came knocking at my community's door? Would I bow down, fight back, run into the woods and leave it all behind? Having a character who can die at any moment means players will have to determine not just what the best course of action may be, but what the best course of action will be for themselves. Okay, so we have our own agenda that could compete with the community's agenda and the character's agenda. Interesting concept. Whether driven by selfishness, charity, pragmatism, or another vice or virtue, crunching those numbers on a scale akin to Rival Peak's many millions of viewers. Did it really have millions of viewers? That's cool. Feels right at home in The Walking Dead, a series that loves to chew on socio-political brain food for the lens of actual brains as food. Okay, well, the zombies don't eat brains. Really. I don't know who told you that. Socio-political, I mean, it is about leadership. I don't know. I don't know if I really agree with that description. But I find this interesting. I'm more intrigued than before, but also more confused than before. Now that we saw this Rival Peak thing with all these different characters that we can look at and how we're each going to have our own character and how this is canon, there's a lot of potential here. I'm going to be covering this. I'm definitely going to be consuming it, watching it, keeping up with it. So hit the sub button if you want to learn more about this with me. And definitely hit the like button if you like this video, and I hope to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts about this? What do you think it has potential? Are you excited to see how the community is going to interact with this? Do you want to make your own character? What kind of character would you create? And do you just want to inflict chaos, or do you want people to all survive? Do you want to be the good guy, or do you want to be the bad guy? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Would love to hear from you. Until the next video, it's been your boy, The Shuggy, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out.